It is believed that planet Earth formed over 4.6 billion years ago out of a mixture of dust and gas around a young sun. Planet Earth grew larger thanks to countless collisions between dust particles, asteroids, ice planets, and other smaller planets, including one last giant impact that threw enough rock, gas, and dust into space to form an extra planet we call the Moon. As the Earth was created, so were many others throughout the universe billions of years earlier. However, scientists cannot truly explain how life on this planet first started. The main theory is that photosynthesis began more than 2.5 billion years ago, called the Great Oxidation Event, while taking another 1.5 billion years to produce oxygen to substation life as we know it. The theory of amoeba, microbes and viruses turning into life and eventually living things such as plants, animals, and such is just an enigma even today. Ufologists agree that the UFO phenomenon has been taking place for a very long time. It is also believed by some ufologists, from the very creation of this planet Earth, and throughout the history of life. I am inclined to believe this theory based upon logic and many incidental proven facts, including ancient cave drawings, artifacts, and ancient scrolls. Some also agree that aliens may have something to do in the conception of life on this planet and have altered its construction many times, especially the inhabitants that live here. The subject field that the Milky Way, our galaxy within the universe, is at least 13 to 14 billion years old, whereas the planet Earth is a mere 4 billion years old. The scientist and ufology fraternity have suggested and believe that other organisms and life forms developed long before the Earth's creation on distant planets, and when we say organism we possibly mean other beings, possibly in other forms, other than humanoid. These beings, we call extraterrestrials, helped create the planet Earth. Some may say gods. It is believed that planet Earth formed over 4.6 billion years ago out of a mixture of dust and gas around a young sun. Planet Earth grew larger thanks to countless collisions between dust particles, asteroids, ice planets, and other smaller planets, including one last giant impact that threw enough rock, gas, and dust into space to form an extra planet we call the Moon. As the Earth was created, so were many others throughout the universe billions of years earlier. It took another billion years for life to begin. However, scientists cannot truly explain how life on this planet first started. The main theory is that photosynthesis began more than 2.5 billion years ago, called the Great Oxidation Event, while taking another 1.5 billion years to produce oxygen to substation life as we know it. The theory of amoeba, microbes and viruses turning into life and eventually living things such as plants, animals, and such is just an enigma even today. Considering it has only been 5 to 7,000 years since the evolution and development of modern man and only the last 200 years for the development of technology, we are able to leave this planet for another, where we are still primitive in our technology compared to other intelligent life forms. With over 1,000 billion suns and 1 billion planets in our universe, it doesn't take a genius to work out the possibility of life on other planets. Unfortunately, at the moment our technology is not advanced enough to explore these other planets. Nonetheless, advanced life, the extraterrestrials, have the means to do this. According to science, our planet Earth has suffered 5 major extinctions throughout its lifetime. Although we have been led to believe that these extinctions were due to natural phenomena, ufologists believe that the extinctions were orchestrated to develop the planet in readiness for higher intelligence, and is still being formulated by much higher intelligent beings. Throughout the planet Earth's development and extinction, different species have survived and matured and quite possibly are living amongst us today, albeit with much higher intelligence. Scientists state about 1.2 million to 1.8 million years ago, the early Homo sapiens evolved the theory that ape-like creatures from Africa began to walk habitually on 2 legs and then spread from Africa into Asia and Europe doesn't hold true with some scientists and ufologists. The missing link theory comes into play, such as the missing DNA link from a monkey to a human. However, prior to Homo sapiens, there were a number of other human-looking species, including the Ramapithecus and Australopithecus species. Then came the Homo erectus, Homo neanderthals, and during this time the Homo sapiens. Scientists say our mitochondrial DNA, which is only passed down from female to female and which stays intact, can be traced back to around 250,000 years ago to a woman in South Africa. Coincidentally, this is exactly the same time that Sumerians say that a human species was created by the Anunnaki race of people. Is this simply a coincidence? It is highly unlikely.
The future of planet Earth. 4 billion years from now, the increase in Earth's surface temperature will cause a runaway greenhouse effect, creating conditions more extreme than present-day Venus and heating Earth's surface enough to melt it. By that point, all life on Earth will be extinct. Another scenario is that the drag from the chromosphere of the Sun would reduce Earth's orbit. These effects will counterbalance the impact of mass loss by the Sun, and the Sun will likely engulf Earth in about 7.59 billion years. This is possibly the very reason why extraterrestrials are nurturing this world and its inhabitants, one day to helping humankind to expand out from this dying planet. The belief is extraterrestrials are coming to our planet, observing their creations and helping civilization overcome obstacles that present themselves to our fragile climate. Their fear of us polluting and destroying the planet with our nuclear power weapons is a big concern to them. This explains why UFOs are spotted near such nuclear explosions. It is also known by the enlightened few that the aliens are here to help mankind. This explains experimental abductions, cattle mutilations and abductions, while using crop circles trying to communicate. The master plan. Ufologists believe that similar dramatic circumstances occur to other planets and beings throughout the solar system over the many billions of years. This explains why in this modern-day era we are seeing more than ever unidentified flying objects in the skies. The opinion of ufologists is that they are making themselves known slowly but surely to mankind, so when the eventual disclosure of alien life is announced, it would not be such a big shock to the world. The living proof of their presence is when archaeologists uncover cave drawings and artifacts of UFOs and aliens that are carbon dated at least 10,000 years ago, some to prehistoric days. Astonishingly, some of these UFO drawings and alien figures are the same all over the globe, including territories such as India, Australia, South America, Russia, Asia, North America, and many more. Follow us for part 3. Thanks for watching.
The alien master plan continued. Although scientists argue that the Homo species have been existing anywhere from 100,000 to 35,000 years on the planet, yet surprisingly only in recent years, archaeologists uncovered records of an intelligent civilization, with accompanied documented writings, in the form of clay scribes, depicting a highly intelligent species that visited Earth many years before. The Sumerians lived in Mesopotamia, present-day Iraq and Iran, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. These ancient scribes, called cuneiform tablets, were hand-chiseled onto clay. And when deciphered by experts, they explained how an alien race called the Anunnaki visited Earth from the skies. The cuneiform tablets explain how the Sumerian race lived their lives, from day to day, how they made rules, wrote poems, and recorded transactions, and stories about the Anunnaki people that came from the sky. It was the Anunnaki who taught them how to write. However, the Sumerians worshipped these aliens as gods. The scribes, who number in the thousands, tell the story that the Anunnaki, who were inhabitants of a planet named Nibiru, came to Earth with the intent of mining raw materials. The Anunnaki sought more than just a friendly exchange. They wanted gold, which they desperately needed to repair their planet's atmosphere. Since the Anunnaki were small in number, they weren't able to mine enough gold, so they decided to genetically engineer a primate species to help mine the mineral for themselves. By the time the Sumerians emerged as a civilization, the Anunnaki had given people the ability to not only write but solve mathematics, and plan cities, which led to the future development of life as we know it. They also developed the cuneiform, which is one of the earliest known systems of writing in human history. In addition, they also came up with a method of a calendar, which modern people still use to this day. Despite being an ancient civilization, their reign was marked by a number of impressive technological advancements. For example, the Sumerians invented the plow, which played a huge role in helping their empire grow. It was written that Anunnaki, a supreme deity, could control both the fate of human kings and his fellow gods. Though much remains undiscovered about the Sumerians and their way of life, they left evidence of their beliefs in the ancient texts, including the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest written stories in human history, and also the Adapa, model man, or Adam and Eve of later mythology. The conceptualization of religious beliefs took place and stories of the Old Testament were derived. The scribes say that the Anunnaki were active in many human affairs until their culture was destroyed by global catastrophes caused by the abrupt end of the last ice age some 12,000 years ago. Seeing that human life survived and all they had built was destroyed, the Anunnaki left Earth after giving humans the opportunity and means to rule and govern themselves. The Mayan civilization. 3,000 years ago, the Mayan civilization of the Mesoamerican people was known by its ancient temples and glyphs. Its Maya script is the most sophisticated and highly developed writing system in the pre-Columbian Americas. It is also noted for its art, architecture, mathematics, calendar, and astronomical system. The ancient Mayans had contact with alien visitors who left behind evidence of their existence. Mayan documents, i.e. artifacts, dating back at least 1,300 years reveal that the human race is not alone and that highly advanced technologies including space travel have likely already existed for quite some time. Not only does documentation released by the Mexican government show the existence of an explorer race, it also revealed the roots of mankind altogether. Some consider the government's presentation of the information to be a major step forward for humanity, as the truth is finally making its way out. Hopefully, this will prompt other governments around the world to be more forthcoming with such information, turning the tide in the UFO and extraterrestrial research community for good. The Mexican government released codices, artifacts and significant documents with evidence of Mayan and extraterrestrial contact. And all of their information was corroborated by archaeologists. The Minister of Tourism for the Mexican state of Campeche, Luis Augusto Garcia Rosado, the highest-ranking government official, went on record confirming the discovery of extraterrestrial life, and did not hold back. In a statement by the minister, he spoke of contact between the Mayans and extraterrestrials, supported by translations of certain codices, which the government has kept secure in underground vaults for some time. In a telephone conversation with the documentary company, he spoke of landing pads in the jungle that are 3,000 years old. The documentary is believed to focus in part on previously unexplored sections of a Mayan site at Calakmul, Mexico, as well as a number of sites in Guatemala, where officials are also backing the documentary. Guatemala, like Mexico, home to the ancient yet advanced Mayan civilization, has also kept certain provocative archaeological discoveries classified, and now believes that it is time to bring forth this information in a new documentary. Guatemala's Minister of Tourism, Guillermo Novielli Quezada, said in a statement. The Mayan calendar ended on the 21st of December 2012, a fact that conspiracy theorists had used to predict an imminent apocalypse. However, according to Mayanist scholars, there was no evidence that the Mayans themselves expected cataclysmic events to occur once the calendar had reached its denouement. More likely, it would simply mark the beginning of another 5,125-year-long cycle.